Hi, it's Sister Pleiner, and welcome to Chinuch Matters. But last week, we asked the question, what's best, proactive parenting or reactive? And we concluded that the best is a blend. So let's review. And we said, which is better? Proactive parenting is generally considered more effective for long-term development and family harmony because it prevents problems before they grow. Reactive parenting is necessary sometimes, especially when immediate correction is needed. The healthiest approach is often a blend, being proactive most of the time while also being capable of reacting calmly and effectively when surprises happen. To express simply, the normal parenting approach is to be proactive. This is because parents can provide children with structure, teaching, training, and provide prevention of inappropriate behaviors. The only caveat is parents need to be reactive at times when things crop up, unforeseen situations, and need to be able to handle them in a very thorough and mature way. Unfortunately, the general approach to parenting is not according to the just stated outcome. Rabbi Yechiel Yaakovson, in his well-known Sefer on Chinuch, Spare the Child, clearly expresses quite the opposite as the parenting norm. And I quote, "Most parents do not choose to undertake a serious agenda of positive reinforcement unless they are forced to do so by a problem. The pressures and stresses of day-to-day life cause chinuch in general and positive reinforcement in particular to get pushed aside. These areas will receive their due attention only if they force their way to center stage. It will happen, a child's deterioration reaches an extent that can no longer be ignored." Rabbi Yaakovson is addressing his concern that so many parents choose to avoid parenting strategies that require proactive planning and consistent application of tried and true strategies that can greatly benefit children during the formative years. He calls the strategy he's referring to as a serious agenda of positive reinforcement. Serious is synonymous with proactive. He continues and underscores the preferred strategy is reactionary, and I quote, "Unless they are forced to do so by a problem. These areas will receive their due attention only if they force their way to center stage." Now, also included in this powerful statement by Rabbi Yaakovson is the underlying reason why parents choose to be reactionary and not serious or proactive. And I quote, "The pressures and stresses of day-to-day life cause chinuch in general and positive reinforcement in particular that get pushed to the side." Rabbi Yaakovson's last statement is a sobering perspective on the society we live in. And I quote, "These areas will receive their due attention only if they force their way to center stage. It will happen that child's deterioration reaches an extent that can no longer be ignored. Sadly, many parents become proactive when their children are obviously suffering terribly, and to ignore it any further is to risk a child's well-being that could impact his entire life." Does this approach to chinuch fit into the philosophy, values, and history of the Jewish people when it comes to raising children? I think all of us who have been raised as Jewish children and know the culture and the norms and the lore and the legacies of our family would never agree to that. Absolutely not. And we'll continue having these conversations in future messages and try to explore ways of trying to get parents to become more proactive according to the Jewish way. Have a good day.